We are here to play with some makeup, y'all. I have another video in my Use Your Makeup series. We are going to slap some makeup on this face. I would love for you to get ready with me today. And I thought that today we would talk about starting a YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel at the end of 2015, I believe. I'm pretty sure I uploaded December of 2015 as my very first video, and I've kind of learned some things along the way. I've realized that when I started my channel, I was focusing on the wrong things, and so I am here with 5 tips. If you are interested in creating a YouTube channel of your own, then this video is hopefully helpful for you. Let's just go ahead and jump in. New to my channel or new to my Use Your Makeup series, we are going to be talking about a certain topic, talking about starting a YouTube channel and some things that I wish I knew in the beginning, but also focusing on some makeup products. And so I kind of dug through my collection and pulled out maybe some like neglected favorites, products that I love, that I really enjoy, but I haven't used lately, and we're going to focus on those at the end of the video. So I do have my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I am in the shade DeVille L4. I also did pull out a holiday face palette that is probably since discontinued. This is the Precious Gems from Tarte, the Amazonian clay. I also pulled out my bestie Heather Austin's highlighter collab or highlighter duo with Unearthly Cosmetics. And for lips, I am pulling out an old favorite here from Pat McGrath. She is bougie. It is Nude Venus. So let's dive in. So I started my YouTube channel back in 2015, the end of 2015. I started an Instagram account first, and I started my Instagram account, and I kind of knew that like the ultimate goal was YouTube. Back in those years, 2014, 2015, I was consuming a lot of Instagram and YouTube beauty content. I was recently married. My husband was a football coach. I had some free time. You know what I mean? I had some free time. I am a teacher. I was teaching at the time, but I decided I kind of wanted to like just play with makeup. I love talking. I love makeup. I love talking about makeup. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to join this space, and I wanted to meet like-minded people who loved makeup from all around the world, and I just wanted to talk about makeup. So that was my thinking. I moved into the house that we are at now in 2015, and so shortly after was when I started my YouTube channel. But when I think back about my YouTube channel and like starting back then, there are some things I would change. There are definitely things that I feel like I did wrong, or maybe I was like focusing on the wrong thing. I do want to start out by saying, when I started my YouTube channel, there were big names like Desi Perkins, Katie from Lusterlux, Nicole Guerrero, Jaclyn Hill, who I believe were doing well. You know, Marlena from Makeup Geek, making money on YouTube, but it wasn't something that like a lot of people were doing in 2014, 2015. Like, you had to be top 1% if you were gonna make money on YouTube. So I didn't go into it with the intent of I wanted to make money. I'm a teacher. I was already in that line of work. I was already teaching at the time. And so for me, it was more of coming at it from a hobby. I love talking. I love makeup. I wanted to be like in this space with other people talking about makeup and like kind of just fueling my hobby, fueling my passion, if that makes sense. And when I started, I'll never forget. So I did have a camera at the time, and it was a camera that I had had for years that I used for photography. But in my mind, I needed a camera. I needed like this whole beauty setup. Like, I thought that I needed a ton of equipment to start my channel. But what I had at the time was I had this old camera that I used for photography. I pulled that out, and of course I had my makeup room. When my husband and I moved into the house that we are in, I already had a ton of makeup like before I even started social media. And so I had like this whole beauty room set up. And I'll never forget, for my very first video, if you want to watch it, it's still up. It's kind of funny to look back on, but in my very first video, I'm sitting kind of like diagonal with my beauty vanity behind me and like kind of kitty corner to a window that was letting in a ton of natural light. I was sitting on the floor, and she was 17 at the time, my niece, my 17-year-old niece, was literally holding the camera for the entire extent of the video, holding my camera while I talked. And it was like one take. Like I was just going. At this point in time, I had never like filmed anything before. I was just talking. I was just going. I was just talking. And she held my camera for like the first several videos. Yeah. Before I even got a tripod. My husband ended up getting me a tripod after that. But for those first several videos, I don't think I filmed them all in one day. I'm pretty sure I filmed them sporadically. If I go back and look, it was like I uploaded a video, a couple weeks later I uploaded a video, a couple weeks later I uploaded another video. And when I would film in the beginning, I would either have her holding it, or I think there was one time where I even like, before I had a tripod, like I set it on a ledge and it was just like on the windowsill while I was sitting with like my stuff in the background, just like rattling off whatever I was talking about in the video. One was like a favorites video, one was like about Makeup Geek or under $10, like they're interesting. I will link them down below if you're interested in some old giggles from Kelly many moons ago, but they're still there. They're still there to watch. But that was my initial setup. And that leads me into tip number 1. I mentioned that my niece was holding the camera. In my head, I felt like I needed all of this fancy equipment. I felt like I needed a fancy camera. I felt like I needed a tripod. I felt like I needed some lighting, and I didn't have those things, but I decided to start anyway. But my first tip is consistency matters. I recently, and by recently I mean several months ago, but like in the last year, I looked back at some of my older videos and like, I'm pretty sure, let's just double check myself. Okay, so my very first video, my November favorites 2015, that was my first video other than my trailer that I created for myself. And I uploaded that on December 14th of 2015. And then the next video that I uploaded after that was my top 10 under $10 beauty products. And I uploaded that one on December 27th of 2015. And my third video, I'm not gonna go through all of them, but my third video after that was December 2015, Play by Sephora. Do y'all remember Play by Sephora? That one wasn't too bad. That one was January 1st of 2016. But I think one of the things that is most important, and one thing that I would change, like if I was starting a channel all over again, is just to be more consistent when you're starting. At the end of the day, you don't need the fanciest lighting to begin. You don't need the fanciest camera to begin. You don't need the fanciest background or setup. I did not really work on my consistency in the beginning. I would upload when I felt like it, when I had time. It wasn't something that I made a priority just because, I mean, it was a hobby for me. So I wasn't really trying to make anything come of it. But if you really want to do social media and you're hoping to maybe make an income from it, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but if you are wanting to have something come of your YouTube, I really feel like being consistent is very important, especially in the beginning stages of your channel, because if people don't know who you are and you're just starting out, they're not going to know, like, to look through their subscription feed and look for your name. You know, when I find new content creators that I start watching, I like to binge watch their videos in order to see if there's someone that I want to subscribe to or not. And I'm subscribed to a lot of people, but I think being consistent and uploading regularly is helpful when it comes to starting your own YouTube channel. And it doesn't have to be several times a week, y'all. It can just be once a week. If you really want to do something with YouTube, I think starting it once a week is totally fine. Like, pick a day. For me, I always batch film. Being a teacher, that means I spend one day on the weekend, usually Saturday, where I do all of my filming. I usually film 2 or 3 videos in a day, and then it's usually the next day or sometimes even into the week by the time I'm editing them. But I do my batch filming, I film, and then I pick certain days to upload. My goal is 2 or 3 videos a week. That's what I try to do. That's what I try to stick to. But if you feel like that's too much for you, pick one day a week that you want to upload. If you know the weekends are good for you and you can film on a weekend, make it the middle of the week. Pick Wednesday. If you are someone who works on the weekends and so you're home during the week and you know, well, you know what, Monday or Tuesday I can usually film, upload on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. But pick a day. I don't necessarily know. Now, y'all, I'm no expert, okay? I am no like social media expert, YouTube expert by any means, just someone who's been in this space for a while. I have found that when you're first like starting out, I don't necessarily know that there's a certain day or time that's best for you to upload. But one thing I've noticed in looking at my analytics is that I feel like the people who watch my videos almost kind of got used to me uploading in the afternoon just because that's when I uploaded. I'm a teacher, so I would upload after school so that I could see, you know, what people were commenting and I could comment back and stuff. I always schedule my videos ahead of time. But I found that people, once I started uploading regularly and kind of sticking to a schedule, people learned my schedule. And so I found that those are the times that I would stick to uploading. I would stick to the days and times that worked for me, and then the viewers came, and the people who wanted to watch my videos kind of got used to, oh, Kelly's uploading on these days at these times. And so I think especially in the beginning, if you are someone who's thinking about starting a YouTube channel, really evaluate if you can commit to one video a week. Can you commit to one video a week, uploading a video the same day? Doesn't necessarily have to be the same time. Try a couple different days in the beginning, but can you commit to uploading one video a week and getting it up on your channel for your viewers? Because in those beginning stages, nobody knows who you are. So the only way for people to get to know you is for you to be uploading regularly. And then those people will come to learn, oh, this person is going to upload their videos on this day, and then they'll start to look for you. So that's tip number one, consistency matters. Before we jump into tip number two, I'm gonna put some brows on real quick. Okay, brows are on, we are back. Tip number two, learn analytics, y'all. If you heard me just a few minutes ago say that I would look at my analytics to see like when my subscribers were on, like what time they were watching my videos, I just learned how to read my analytics in the last 6 months, y'all. I have been on YouTube since December of 2015, and January, February of 2024 was when I finally learned analytics. Like, I would look at things here and there, but y'all, there is so much more to the analytics and the stuff that YouTube pulls for you to tell you how your video is performing. And there are tons and tons of resources out there. There are free resources that you can find like anywhere on YouTube if you just like Google analytics or SEO. Me personally, I have been going through Erica Vieira's Bootcamp. If you don't know Erica Vieira, she is your YouTube coach on Instagram. So I am going to have a link to like her bootcamp and her channel and her page if you're interested. But I decided to join her bootcamp after, you know, talking to people who knew her and like following her in the social media space. And her course, her bootcamp course, has actually really helped me to learn and understand my analytics. And there's still room for growth there. Like, now I know how to read the analytics, but do I always make time? Do I always pay attention? No, not necessarily. And that's definitely on me. But if there is something that I could suggest if you are in the beginning stages of starting a YouTube channel, one, be consistent, even if it's just once a week. Like, find a day that you can upload, find a filming day, find an uploading day. But tip number two is spend time learning your analytics. You don't have to take a course if you don't want to. You can invest in a course if you would like to, but like, just Google YouTube SEO, YouTube analytics, or if you are someone, I just poked my eye with the beauty sponge. If you are someone who is good at kind of learning things like that on your own, you really can. If you just take some time, YouTube, oh my gosh, they give you so much information from like, not just how many people are watching your video or how many people liked it, but when you go into the analytics, it shows you your reach, like where your audience is coming from. It shows you how many times YouTube has shown your video. It shows you what videos are performing well on your channel. Like, there is just a wealth of knowledge that YouTube already gives you, already provides for you, that you don't even have to do on your own. And it took several years for me to actually give the analytics page like a real look. And if you are just starting out, I feel like that could save you. That could save you from making videos that you don't want to make, that aren't performing well, and it might help you, kind of figure out, especially in those early stages, like what your audience wants to watch from you, And I feel like finding that out early on will probably be super beneficial for anyone. So one thing about my YouTube journey is I did not consistently upload this entire time that I've been on here. I had my daughter in April of 2019, and when I had my daughter, not purposely, I accidentally stopped filming. I stopped uploading, I stopped editing. I did not produce content for about 14 months. And up until having my daughter, I always looked at YouTube as like a hobby, just like a side gig, something to give me something to do when my husband, who was a football coach at the time, was busy and I was home. And, it was definitely more of a hobby for me. And so I didn't really pay attention to like building deep relationships in this space. I was always familiar of other creators, talking about making friendships in this space. And back then there were Ipsy events and Gen Beauties, and creators were getting together and meeting up. And I never really did any of that because I just I felt out of place. In all honesty, I felt out of place. I felt like I'm just a teacher. I'm doing this for fun. Like, why would I go to these events? I don't know anybody. And while I did have friendships in the beauty space or people that I talked to occasionally, whether it be in the comments section or DMs, I had a few people that I knew in the space that I talked to, but I didn't actually foster any relationships. I didn't actually get to know people on a deeper level. So I had my daughter April 2019, kind of fell off for 14 months, and I didn't really have a lot of people like message me or check up on me or see what was going on. Every now and then, I would post something and I would post that I was still around and still here doing things. But for the most part, I didn't really keep in contact with anybody. And then COVID hit in March of 2020 and my daughter turned 1, and I was teaching through COVID, and then summer hit and we were all home, and I was like, let me pick up this YouTube thing again. And I turned the camera on, but this time I had a very different goal. I wasn't coming back to YouTube just because I wanted to talk about makeup, or just because I wanted to make money on YouTube, or just because I wanted to be in social media. That wasn't why I came back to it the second time around. When I came back in the fall of 2020, I wanted to find the Kelly that I was before I became a mother. And, I wanted to tap into a part of me that I felt like had been lost for a little bit. My love of makeup, my hobby, something that made me happy. And I also wanted to form friendships in this space. I wanted to purposely seek out friendships. I wanted to get to know people. And, by this time, in 2019, 2020, it was very evident that there were people who met on the internet and became friends in real life. And I wanted that. I wanted to develop friendships with people who really loved makeup and loved talking about makeup and loved buying makeup and loved the things that I loved. And so when I came back, that was my goal. I really should have done this before I powdered my face, but it is what it is. We'll throw a little bit on here. So when I came back, I knew that I wanted to get to know other creators, and my goal, my hope, was to develop real friendships. And so that kind of leads us into tip number 3, because I have had people, oh my gosh, in my time on YouTube, I've talked to all kinds of people. I've collaborated with different content creators. I've gotten to know people, and I learned in coming back to YouTube and kind of in, finding my space, finding my people. I really feel like my tip for number 3 comes to specifically collaborations, but like your relationship with other content creators. In the past, before my hiatus on YouTube, I would really just like collaborate with whoever. Like I would find someone in the beauty space and be like, oh, this would be a fun person to do a collab with. Like, I like this video, I like their style. And so I would reach out to them, or they would reach out to me, and we would do a collaboration. And then a relationship wasn't fostered from there. So tip number 3 to my younger self, or to any of you who are wanting to start a YouTube channel: collabs are fun. It's super fun to collaborate with another content creator and to create videos together, whether it be that you're just uploading them at the same time or whether you get to collaborate in person. But before you are ready to do a collab, my suggestion is to have a relationship and know who you're collaborating with. I do not recommend finding someone on Instagram, on YouTube, and just randomly messaging them saying like, hey, do you want to do a collab together? First of all, it's not going to grow your subscriber count, it's not going to grow their subscriber count, and it's not really going to blossom. Like, nothing's going to come of it. It'll be fun for that time, but it'll fade. And so I think the joy in collaborations and the true fun that come with collaborations come when you know who you're collaborating with. So it should be someone that you feel like you have built a bond with or built a relationship with. And honestly, for me, those happen organically. Friendships happen organically. Of course, you can find someone whose channel you like, someone you admire, and you start with being a subscriber, being a follower, commenting organically on their videos, commenting organically on their Instagram, on their social media, which may lead to DMs if they post something that you want to comment on, you know? But start organically there as a subscriber, not expecting anything from anyone, and really get to know a person before you go and ask them if they want to collaborate. If you are reaching out to a creator that like you have no relationship with, they may not even respond. For one, it may be likely that they don't respond at all, but you may also get yourself into a situation where you barely know someone, and so you do a collaboration with them, and then you come to find out like maybe the friendship isn't going to work after all. Maybe you two decide you don't have common values or common beliefs, and you just go your separate ways. And so I really feel like it's best for you and it's best for the person that you are collaborating with if you have a genuine relationship built first organically, then decide to do a collab with each other. It makes it more fun. Each of your subscribers may hear you talking about the person before the collaboration, so then it makes it more fun for the viewers, and it's more fruitful because then you have a friend in this space that you can bounce ideas off of back and forth, that you can confide in, and really that's where the true beauty, I think, of this platform is when you're working with other creators, is really getting to know someone for who they are. So tip number 3, when you're collaborating with someone, really make sure you know them before you actually agree to a collaboration. And that's gonna bring us into my 4th tip. If you are new and you're starting out in this space, it can be a lonely place. You are working essentially by yourself. A lot of times you're in a room by yourself, you're talking to ultimately yourself. I mean, other people are going to view it, but like there's nobody in this room right now. Like sometimes my daughter's in here, but I'm not necessarily talking to her when I'm talking to the camera. And so it can be a lonely space, but there is so much beauty in finding someone who understands what it's like to film, who understands what it's like in this space, who can give you, tips and tricks on things that they found successful. There's so much beauty in that, right? But how do you get there? How do you get to a point where you feel like you have actual community, actual sense of belonging? Because my first go around with YouTube, that's what I felt like was lacking. I didn't really have a community. There were a few people here and there that I recognized commenting on all of my videos, but a lot of times I didn't have repeat subscribers. I didn't have, real nurtured relationships in this space. And so the second time around, I really wanted to focus on building a community. And so tip number 4, support your other content creators. But when I say support your other content creators, I just got done talking about collaborations, and if you see someone you want to collaborate with, like, get to know them first, comment on their videos, things like that. But really, if you want to nurture relationships in this space, if you're hoping to build a sense of community, support other creators, but do so without expecting anything in return. When I came back to YouTube in 2020, and I knew that I wanted to feel a sense of community, and I wanted to feel like this was my community, I did not expect anyone to befriend me. I did not expect anybody to suddenly want to come watch my channel, to want to collab with me, anything. When I came back and I started watching more YouTube again, and I started finding creators that I felt like I vibed with and that I liked, I reached out to them and supported them expecting nothing. I watched their videos, I liked their videos, I commented when I could, I subscribed, I followed them on Instagram, I interacted, but I did so without expecting anything in return. This was just the Park Avenue Princess bronzer. Okay, I don't know where I left off because my daughter just came in. I'm gonna dip into this blush right here using my Sigma F40. But I came back to YouTube and I did not expect anybody to be my friend. I did not expect anybody to watch my videos or want to collaborate with me. I didn't expect anything from anybody because at the end of the day, nobody owes you anything. I mean, that may be an unpopular opinion, but nobody owes you anything. Nobody in this space owes me anything. And one thing I will say is that the women that I know in this space who do content creation full time, they are some of the hardest working women I have ever met in my life, okay? Their dedication, the work that they put in, the time, the money, the effort, they are some of the hardest working women that I have ever met, and I look up to them so much for that. But like, they got here because of their hard work and dedication. So if you feel like, you know, I'm gonna start commenting on this person's video and they need to start commenting on mine, like, that's really not going to get you anywhere. You need to just genuinely support other content creators, support people you like, watch their channels thrive. And in there, I feel like organic relationships will form, people will start to be your biggest cheerleaders, and that's where you really build the sense of community. Because at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't owe you anything, this platform doesn't owe you anything, your viewers don't owe you anything, your friends don't owe you anything. So if you are really looking to build a sense of community, like, that would be my tip, is support other content creators and do so without expecting anything in return. I feel like that's just life in general, you know? Like, if you're constantly expecting people to treat you a certain way or your friends to treat you a certain way, you're just going to be let down. You know what I mean? Everybody in life is doing their best. I always try to think positively and think that everybody in life is genuinely doing their very best. And when you think that way, then it makes you think more positively about other people, and it's just a better mindset to have. So that's just a life tip. We're gonna go into highlighter, and for this one, talking about collabs and talking about supporting other creators, one of the first people that I connected with when I came back from my YouTube hiatus was Heather Austin, and my bestie Heather Austin got to collaborate with one of her favorite brands, Unearthly, and they created this little highlighter duo that I am going to dip into today. You have these two beautiful shades here in Renewal and Rebirth. Let me find my highlighter brush. My other bestie, Angelica Nyquist, she created the brand Singe Beauty. This is the Singe F07. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of dip back and forth a little bit into Renewal, a little bit into Rebirth, and then we are going to put this right here on the high points of my cheeks. This highlighter is stunning, and I really love the way that I can use both shades. If you have a deeper skin tone, I think this will be beautiful on you, but I'm able to use this as well, and so I really appreciate the versatility that both Heather and Unearthly put in this palette. If you hear some noise in the background, I just got done telling you that you're often by yourself when you film, and now I have my beautiful daughter in here with me. She loves being a part of my YouTube. So she is joining us as well. But this is just beautiful and absolutely stunning highlighter. I have not reached for it lately, and I just wanted to dip into it because it is so beautiful. Okay, so as we move into tip number 5, I am going to apply the McGrath lipstick. And so I'm first taking my Lunar Beauty Milk Tea lip liner. I am not one of those people that can like talk and do lip liner. I've seen people do it. I cannot. Okay, so here is Lunar Beauty Milk Tea lip liner, and then this is the lipstick. I think it was like a holiday release in Nude Venus. I have not worn this in a while. I honestly can't even like tell you the last time that I wore it, but it's went on really smooth and comfortable. It is a matte, but it doesn't feel drying. So I really like that. I really appreciate that. Okay, so tip number 5. Tip number 5, while I prime my eyes to get ready for eyeshadow, is just to start. I had a friend in my everyday life, someone that I don't know from social media, someone that I have known for years, that I met actually in my teaching career. We were hanging out one day, this was recently, and she made a comment to me and she was like, you know, I wish that I created a YouTube channel. And I was like, really, why? And she said, yeah, I wish that I had created something, I don't know, about like health or fitness. And I said, well, why don't you do it now? And she said, well, I kind of feel like the ship has sailed, like the boat has passed. Like I feel like my time has passed and I can't do that anymore. And you know, I feel like there are a lot of people that feel that way. They either feel like they need to be ready, they need to have the right equipment, they need to, you know, have the best lighting, have the best setup. And really, the thing that you need to do is just start. Just start. I thought that I needed fancy equipment and the best lighting. And, you know, for a period of time, I only filmed with natural light that came in from a window. For a period of time, I filmed on my iPhone. I filmed many, many videos on my iPhone. For a period of time, I was editing my videos. Now I edit on iMovie, which is free, but I was editing on some free PC software. I've known people who have edited in the YouTube Creator Studio. I have a camera now, but I didn't for years. I just got a ring light recently, like a few years ago, after my daughter was born. And so you really don't need all of the fancy things. And all of the fancy things, while they are good improvements to your channel, if you're waiting for those, it's not gonna get you anywhere. You kind of have to just start. Just start your channel, be consistent, pick a day and a time that you wanna upload and stick to that. Work on learning your analytics as you go. Pay attention to what you can see, what you can't see, what you understand. Invest in a course or program if you want to. Search the internet if you want to for analytics. Support other creators. Support other creators naturally and organically without expecting anything, and collabs will come with that. But know who you're collaborating with. Don't just reach out to anybody and everybody trying to do a collaboration. Really get to know who you're collaborating with. But above all else, you just need to start. You just need to start. And that is the biggest roadblock. That is the biggest thing, is just overcoming those hurdles. And like I said, I'm gonna have my first few videos listed down below. And y'all, you're gonna learn as you go. They're not gonna be the best videos ever. I leave them on my channel, one, because they're fun for me to watch, but two, it just goes to show, like, your first few videos are gonna be awkward. They're gonna be weird. You don't have a camera presence yet. You don't maybe even know what you want your channel to be about yet. You haven't quite decided, but you have to just start somewhere. You have to just start. You have to record yourself. You have to upload it, and you have to get going. That's the only way you're gonna be able to start a channel. And so with that, I am going to hop off camera to play with an eyeshadow palette that I have been obsessing over and loving lately, and it is the Adept Amy Loves palette. I filmed 2 looks with it initially. I went back and filmed 6 more looks with it, so there is content that I will have listed down below if you're interested, but I am going to create a look and then we will wrap up the video. Okay, so here is the finished look here. Normally in my Use Your Makeup videos, I also talk about the products, but if you're not interested in the products, if you just came for the tips on starting a YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. But if you came to hear my updates on the products, I wanted to let you know I do still love the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. Again, I'm in the shade L4 DeVille. I feel like it does a good job of giving me like a light medium coverage with a little bit of radiance and dewiness. It feels comfortable on the skin. I love NARS foundations. I think it's still a really, really good one. I do really enjoy the formula of the Pat McGrath lipsticks. This one is a little bit of a deeper shade than what I normally go for and a little bit more peach. So I think that's probably the reason why I don't use it or wear it as much as I should for the price of it. But it is nice, high quality. It's a beautiful design. Really love this one. Of course, my friend Heather Austin's collaboration. I really love the versatility of this highlighter. I really like that I can use this one standalone. I can use this as a blush topper. I can mix them together like I did today. This is a highlighter that's going to give you sparkle and shine and shimmer. So if you like something that's more natural and toned down, this would not be the one for you. I don't think that you can purchase this separately, but I will have Heather's bundle linked down below in case you are interested in purchasing. And this Tarte palette, like I said, this was a holiday release, so I don't think you can get it anymore. The Park Avenue Princess Bronzer is not a flat matte for me, so I really like and enjoy that. I appreciate that. And then I used this blush today. I do love the Tarte blush formula. I find it to be a buildable formula. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be one that I accidentally create too much pigment on, and I like just having a variety of shades. So that is going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. There will hopefully be more Use Your Makeup videos to come where we're just like chit-chatting. If there's a specific topic you want to talk about while we're doing this little chit-chat, get ready with me. I would love to know down below. Otherwise, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.